This is Nic Hahn with Mini Matisse, and we're going to make a 2-point perspective treehouse today. You're going to need a pencil, a ruler, you will need some tape, and a long strip of paper, and a 9 by 12 inch sheet of paper as well. Go ahead, the first thing that I want you to do is make sure that your strip of paper is in the middle of your 9 by 12 inch sheet of paper, and then add a little bit of tape at the top and the bottom of that piece of paper. Once you have that, you're going to flip your paper over, and this will now be the front. The wings, we call it, the strip of paper that hangs out on the side, is where you're going to put your vanishing points. So on each side, just put a little point, little dot, and that's your vanishing points on each side. Now to draw the tree for our tree house, we do that by drawing 2 vertical lines. Now for the main 2-point perspective house, start out with a vertical line. Bring your top and bottom back to your vanishing points. Add the back of your box. Then you crisscross from the bottom of the box, from the corner, crisscross to the opposite vanishing point like that. Erase everything that doesn't belong inside the box, and be sure to erase everything on the outside of the box that doesn't belong there as well. Now to turn these 2 lines into a tree, we're going to make it look like the tree is going through our box. So you do this by simply taking a curved line and adding it at the top of your 2 lines, the bottom of your box and the top of the 2 lines. So there's your curved line right there. And that's going to make it look like it's a round tree going into your 3-dimensional box. We need some way to get into this box from the ground, so you're going to create some kind of ladder. It can be either on the tree trunk itself or have it hanging off from the box someplace. I start out by drawing a vertical line. I'm going to start out with a vertical line. You can either make that vertical line on the tree, like so, or off from your original box. I'm going to go off from the original box for this one. And then you'll measure out every inch or half inch or whatever your measurement is down that vertical line. Once you have all your measurements tick marked, you're going to treat these each as individual little boxes. Now that I have my tick marks, in between every other line, I'm going to erase. So this is going to create my vertical line for all my small boxes, which will then become my ladder going up into my treehouse. I'll treat each vertical line as a small box. So treating this just the same way as I did with my original box, bringing the top and the bottom of each one to the vanishing points, and then creating the back part of my box, and then finally the top in these cases because it's below the horizon line. If you have placed your ladder directly onto the tree like I did on this first example, then I'm just going to go back and make it look like there's little tiny nails holding it onto my tree. Or in the case that I just created, you're going to either create a rope or a chain coming down holding this ladder in place. I'm going to show you quickly how to do a chain. Start by drawing a vertical line so that your chain is straight, and then within that you're going to create your chain. So how I do this is I draw a small oval and then the letter C and a backwards letter C and then another loop, and I repeat this pattern over and over. Once you're done, it ends up looking a little bit like a chain. Now let's make a second box. I'm going to repeat the same methods as I did with the first one, but this time I'm overlapping the first one. Now I'm going to add the peak onto this. So I'm going to make a peak on this box. I do that by finding the center first. So I'm drawing an X from corner to corner. I'm going to go right up the center of this X and make a tick mark. I can also make a line or a tick mark, either way. So here I am, there's my tick mark, or I can draw a line. Then from the top corners of my box, I'm going to connect it to the top of that line that I just made. This gives me the peak. I'm going to go from the top of that peak and bring that to the vanishing point. And then I line my ruler up with my first peak drawing, my first line, and I pull that back to give the same angle in the back. So here I am placing it on that first one, pulling it back, and giving the same angle in the back. Now I've just made a peak. Drawing windows and doors are pretty simple as well. You're going to start with your vertical line and then look at the side of the box that you're creating your door or your window on, and whichever vanishing point your door or window is going back to, that's the direction that you're heading with your top and bottom of your windows or doors. Now you'll just add all the extras. Maybe that'll involve other levels to your treehouse. Maybe that's going to involve extra things, other windows, that sort of thing. Just add anything that you can think of to make your treehouse unique. You might want to put some siding on your houses. This is how I went about that. I started at the center line and I measured out equal amounts. And then from each tick mark that I just made, I'm going to bring it back to the vanishing point, the same vanishing point that that side of the building goes back to. Now let's add the rest of the tree to our tree house. I often think of a Y tree. So I'm drawing a larger trunk or a larger branch, and then I'm splitting it off into two smaller branches. Have your branches reach out and interact with all parts of your treehouse. Also consider adding some leaves. Try to overwhelm your picture with all sorts of little hints of whose treehouse this belongs to. Put little signs, put toys down at the bottom, give me an idea of the season, add a horizon line. These are the things that are going to make this unique and interesting to really look at. When you're done drawing, be sure to outline your artwork. After outlining, you're going to pre-plan your coloring. Decide what color your sky is going to be, the ground, the tree trunk, and then the box. The box actually has 3 or 4 different parts. I want you to consider what the right side of the box is going to be, the left side, the top and bottom, and the inside. When you're considering colors for your box, please try to keep them in a color group, so maybe warm colors or cool colors. Check out project samples and other project ideas at minimatisse.blogspot.com.